Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Thanks, Ken. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. It is the Bordas & Bordas hotline of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Let me tell you that Ireland Contracting, for those of you who are not familiar with what they do, you have a chance to meet them firsthand at the David Lawrence Convention Center for the Pittsburgh Home and Garden Show. They'll be there for a full 10 days. Stop by and see why you should call the experts at Ireland Contracting for your roofing, siding, gutter, window projects, whatever you have. Call Ireland Contracting. And we are joined tonight by Paul Zeise of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. A lot to get into. You could tweet us at KDPump, at Paul Zeise, and we'll begin with the Penguins, Paul. Boy, their defense, one of my biggest concerns after the trade was made for Derek Brassard, I thought there'd be time for, because that trade was on a Friday. Trade deadline was Monday. I thought Jim Rutherford will address his defense after losing Cole, and he didn't get anyone. And now, to me, it's not as deep as it should be for a 4-round playoff. If you're looking to play into June, you're going to need more than 6 guys.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things you see is they don't really maybe necessarily have a guy like Ian Cole that does some of the things that he did. But I don't overreact to the first couple of games after a trade deadline. I think the biggest thing is they're without Matt Murray, so that is part of it. I mean, I don't think the goaltenders were completely 100% to blame tonight, but I just feel like if Matt Murray was in the game, some of those goals he would have stopped. I think the other part of it is the Penguins seem to play better in front of Matt Murray, which is why, Mike Sullivan had that comfort zone with him, that comfort level with him instead of Fleury. They seem to play better in front of him. So, yeah, I mean, the defense right now is not deep, and I think they're going to have to figure some things out. But by the same token, they've got, 20 games to figure it out.
They do, but it's a very tight Metro division right now, and they're, in third place, and they could very well fall down or move up. It's that close. And I agree, it's one game, so I'm not going to overreact to it. But I do think, and I felt this way ever since the trade deadline came and went, that they needed to bring in one more. Flyers picked up Johnny Aduya off waivers. There were guys available, just veteran guys you could have brought in. And I only concern myself with that because I think Matt Hunwick has not been very good at all, and he was on the ice quite a bit tonight for a lot of these goals. And if you have an injury or two due to shot blocking, which occurs quite a bit in the playoffs, once again, you'll be a little limited and shallow. Now they have Andre Pedin down in their minors. He's a big guy at 6'5", but do they trust him? The other thing, Paul, you mentioned the goaltending. This is not Murray Fleury. It's nice to have 2 guys who've won cups as your top goaltenders, as they did each of the last 2 years. And everyone understood what happened there, and they trust Tristan Jarry. They trust DeSmith. However, we haven't seen long sample sizes of these guys, especially in critical playoff games. So that is somewhat a risky business. Yeah,
absolutely. I think what you find is if Matt Murray is healthy, okay, say we don't know when he's coming back. I'm assuming he's going to get back before the end of the season. Say he's back with 8-10 games left, and he's healthy through the rest of June. Then, it doesn't, the Fleury-Murray thing doesn't come into play.
How about if he's not?
But if he's not healthy, then you've got a problem because I don't know that you can win a cup with either of these 2 guys. And that's not to say they're not good players. And you know what? 2 years ago they won with a rookie, Matt Murray, but I just get the feeling that neither of these guys are on that level and ready to do that.
Right. The Flyers lost tonight. They took on Carolina 4-1. They go down, so they remain ahead of the Penguins, but just barely. The Capitals will play tomorrow, I believe, so they're in first place at 79 points. All right, let's talk about Sean Miller. That embattled coach out there in Tucson, Arizona for the Arizona Wildcats. He hasn't spoken since that report from ESPN came out. He did today. He was defiant. He came out strong, saying this is 100% not true. I have never engaged in this, even though there are reports in that ESPN report that he is on wiretap, and you can hear him talking about this situation. So at this point, Paul, somebody's not telling the truth here. I don't know. Is it the ESPN reporting? Is it Sean Miller? What will happen here is the big question.
Well, it's going to be now, ESPN, the thing about it, they have now basically, Bob, have come out and said, we stand by our story. And the bottom, line is we trust our sources and all that other stuff. So somebody's lying, and if you wonder how things like this can happen. I mean, maybe Sean Miller was on the phone talking about another player. So he's not lying when he says, I wasn't talking about, what's his name?
But he also said, I have never, in my time at Arizona, done this with any recruit and will never do it with any recruit. But he did kind of hint that there was some discussions with somebody who didn't come to Arizona, right?
Yeah. All I'm saying is I feel like he probably is going to survive all the way, and maybe he should. But let's not forget his right-hand man was arrested and is facing lots of jail time, so he could spill the beans.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you at 412-575-2600. That's the number to call right here live on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. It's right here on Pittsburgh CW.